This is an extraordinary time in this nation's history. It will go down in the history books as one of those moments of true crisis and confusion and chaos. I lived through 9/11. I remember the fear and the panic that existed in 9/11, where in a single moment your whole concept of life and society can be shaken, where you need to see government perform at its best. You need to see people at their best. Everybody's afraid, everybody's nervous. How you respond, how you act. This is a character test for all of us individually. It's a character test for us collectively as a society. What did you do at that moment when all around you lost their head? Right? Rudyard Kipling. That is this moment. What does government do in this moment? It steps up, it performs, it does what it's supposed to do. It does it better than it's ever done it before. What does government not do? It does not engage in politics or partisanship. Even if you are in the midst of an election season, even if you are at a moment in time in history where you have hyper-partisanship, which we now have, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, it is essential that the federal government works with this state and that this state works with the federal government. We cannot do this on our own. I've built airports, I've built bridges. We have made this government do things that it's never done before. This government has done somersaults. It's performed better than ever before. I am telling you, this government cannot meet this crisis without the resources and capacity of the federal government. I spoke to the president this morning again. He is ready, willing, and able to help. I've been speaking with members of his staff late last night, early this morning. We need their help, especially on the hospital capacity issue. We need FEMA. FEMA has tremendous resources. When I was at HUD, I worked with FEMA. I know what they can do. I know what the Army Corps of Engineers can do. They have a capacity that we simply do not have. I said to the president, who is a New Yorker, who I've known for many, many years, I put my hand out in partnership. I want to work together 100%. I need your help. I want your help. And New Yorkers will do everything they can to be good partners with the federal government. I think the president was 100% sincere in saying that he wanted to work together in partnership, in a spirit of cooperation. I can tell you the actions he has taken evidence that. His team has been on it. I know a team when they're on it, and I know a team when they're not on it. His team is on it. They've been responsive late at night, early in the morning, and they've thus far been doing everything that they can do, and I want to say thank you, and I want to say that I appreciate it, and they will have nothing but cooperation and partnership from the state of New York. And we're not Democrats, and we're not Republicans. We are Americans at the end of the day. That's who we are. And that's who we are when we are at our best. So this hypersensitivity about politics and reading every comment and wanting to pit one against the other, there's no time for this. The president is doing the right thing in offering to step up with New York, and I appreciate it. And New York will do the right thing in return. Also, on a personal level, this is we use the word disruption. It's such a clinical, antiseptic word. It's a period of disruption. Life is turned upside down. It's just turned upside down. Remember those snow globes when you were a kid and you shook the globe and the snow went all over and the whole picture changed as soon as you picked up and shook that snow globe. Somebody picked up our country and just shook it and turned it upside down, and it's all chaotic, and things are flying all over, and there's new information, and there's mixed information, and people don't know what to do, and businesses are closing, and the rules change every minute, and can I go out, can I not go out, how do I get the virus, how do I not get the virus? And now I'm at home, and I'm stuck at home, and the kids are at home. And then there's a whole component to this. Don't touch anyone. Don't hug. Don't kiss. We're human beings. That interaction is so important to us. That emotional affirmation is so important to us. And now you have all these weighty decisions. Should I go out? Should I not go out? Is this safe for my kids? Is this not safe for my kids? I'm stuck in my house. I've used my experience just as a metaphor to communicate and relate. Having the kids in the house. Sounds great, having the kids in the house. Yay, the kids are in the house. I remember when my kids were young, I was divorced. My kids were 3 girls. They were 6 and 7 and 8 years old. 6 and 7 and 8 years old in a small apartment in Manhattan. That's a lot of fun, and then that gets old very fast, right? The claustrophobia just sets in. Sets in for the kids, would set in for me. What I would do then is I would go to my mother and father's apartment, which was also in Manhattan, because it was to get out of my apartment. And I would go to my mother and father's apartment. They had a little apartment in Manhattan. And my mother was magic with the girls. And she would play with them, and she could play with them all day, my mother. My mother's pure sugar. She's just pure love, my mother. But I'd be there for a couple of hours, and I'd be sitting there with my father. We'd sit on the couch, and we'd watch a ball game. And after a couple of hours, now the kids are running around, and the kids are picking up this, and they're picking up this, and they're picking up his picture frame, and my father said, put that down, don't touch that, don't touch this. After a couple of hours, my father would say, I think you have to go to work now, pal. And I would say, no, Dad, I don't have to go to work. No, I think you have to go to work now, pal. You know, having all the kids in that tight environment, that's very stressful. That's why yesterday we said all the fees on all the parks are waived. Get out of the house, go to a state park. We have beautiful state parks. By the way, traffic is down. Put the kids in a car, go to a state park, go to a county park, go to City Park. Shirley Chisholm Park in Brooklyn is beautiful. It's open, it's air, the weather's getting better. Spend the time with the kids. There's also tension among families. I mentioned my mother, who is numerically a senior citizen, although not in her reality. I wanted her to stay home. I want her to be isolated. She's my mom. I want her protected. One of my siblings said, I want to take Mom to my house, and we're going to have a party at my house, and I want her to see the kids, etc. I said, that's a mistake. You shouldn't do that. You should let Mom stay home. I'm more protective. The sibling was saying, I want to take Mom. She wants to get out of the apartment, expose her to the kids. I said, you don't know. All you need is one kid. All day long, all I hear about is somebody coming up to me saying, I didn't know, but my daughter was with this person, blah, blah, blah. So I can even see the tensions in the families. And that's real too, and people should expect that. And lastly, there is something to this lack of ability to connect. Don't hug, don't kiss, stay 6 feet away. We are emotional beings, and it is important for us, especially at times of fear, times of stress, to feel connected to someone, to feel comforted by someone. I mentioned my daughter. I haven't seen my daughter in over 2 weeks. It breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. And then this concept of maybe I can't get next to her because of this virus. There's a distance between me and my daughter because of this virus. It saddens me to the core, and it frightens me to the core. And I had her on the phone this morning, and I said it to her. I just said it to her. I said, I can't tell you how hard this is for me, not to be able to be with you, not to be able to hold you in my arms, not to be able to kiss you all over your face, which she hates anyway. But and that plays out 1,000 different ways. You put all this together, it's a hard time. It is a hard time on every level. It is a frightening time on every level. At the same time, it is this much time. It is this much time. Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it 9 months? I don't know, but it's this much time. We will get through this much time. Understand what we're dealing with, understand the pressures that we're feeling, but we will get through this much time. Be a little bit more sensitive, understand the stress, understand the fear, be a little bit more loving, a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more comforting, a little bit more cooperative, and we will get through this time. We will lose people, yes, like we lose people every year with the flu. We're going to be challenged and tested. There's going to be periods of chaos, yes. We've been through that before also. But this is all we're talking about. And we will learn from it, and we will be better prepared the next time, because this is not the last time, my friends. This has been a growing rate of these emergencies and health situations and storms. But we're going to get through it, and we're going to get through it together. But understand the pressures that everyone is feeling. And let's be considerate of those feelings that are now collective and societal.